An old woman fed 10 tons of raw meat into the lake every day. She just wanted her beloved pet crocodile to grow up quickly. But as the crocodile got bigger and bigger, the food was no longer enough to satisfy its hunger. Helpless, the old woman had to bring over her own ox.
Come and get it!
Even the whole ox was barely a mouthful for it, so to make sure the crocodile had enough to eat, she called the police, lying that her ex-boyfriend had fallen into the lake. She tried to trick several police officers into going into the water for the crocodile. The unsuspecting captain immediately sent men to check the lake, but the officers searched the lake thoroughly. They found no sign of the crocodile at all. They only discovered a bottomless cave. Out of curiosity, the officer leaned in to take a look, and then, in the next second, before the captain on the boat could react, the officer was dragged into the water by the crocodile. When the captain finally pulled him back onto the boat, the man was left with only his upper body. It was clear that his lower body had been eaten by the crocodile, so to catch the giant crocodile as soon as possible, the captain quickly called in a helicopter. They then dangled another ox to lure it out. They waited from day until night, but not a single sign of the giant crocodile appeared. Just as the team was about to call it a day and head home, a dark shadow quietly emerged on the lake's surface. Seeing this, the pilot quickly towed the ox toward the shore. Once the crocodile was within range, an officer fired a tranquilizer dart at its belly, but the giant crocodile thrashed around and broke the hanging rope. The helicopter lost control and plunged straight into the water. The crocodile then turned and vanished beneath the lake. The origin of this giant crocodile dates back several years. Bella, a paleontology expert, received an urgent letter. She was invited to a base to investigate a case, but what was removed from an officer's body left her horrified. It was the tusk of some prehistoric creature. Its shape was extremely similar to that of a crocodile. The group immediately headed to the small town for clues. When they learned only an old woman lived by the lake, the three of them set off by boat at once. The old woman, however, seemed mentally unstable. When the captain asked where her husband was, she claimed she had killed him with her own hands years ago, before the others could react. The old woman explained her husband had cancer. He had been suffering from terrible pain every day, so she had sent him away to the other side. But this was not the time to look into that. Their mission was to find out if there really was a crocodile in the lake. Soon the three followed the clues to the lakeside. Staring at the bare reindeer skeleton in the water, everyone assumed the giant crocodile was responsible. To catch a glimpse of the creature, they decided to camp by the lake and observe carefully. Just then, a heavy-set man walked over. He said he knew the crocodile extremely well, and wanted to join them in their research. Early the next morning, the four of them rowed a kayak to the middle of the lake. The small fish jumping around them acted strangely. It was as if they had been startled by something, before the group could figure out what was going on. Meanwhile, the giant crocodile lurking underwater launched a surprise attack. Bella was immediately thrown into the water. Everyone thought she was doomed. Surprisingly, the crocodile appeared to have just fed. It showed little interest in the group. The two barely managed to climb back into the boat. Shaken, the four returned to shore. But since no one had gotten a clear look at the creature, the group split into disagreement. The other three refused to believe it was a prehistoric crocodile. They insisted it was just a large fish. Only Jesse was